it was pretty cool. I didn't really, when they told me that we're going to be on the Jumbotron, I didn't really expect that. So it was just a little shocking.
The council is now in session.
With a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Happy Thursday and welcome to the Sports Council. I'm Jamie Council, and it's spooky season. It's October. Or Rocktober, according to Chris Fisk, head coach for the Central Washington Wildcats. The football team 3-0 in Lone Star Conference play. So Rocktober, it means that if you want to play meaningful games in November, you have to rock your October schedule. That really stuck with me. And the Wildcats return home this weekend to play Eastern New Mexico at Tomlinson Stadium. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock in Ellensburg, or if you can't be there in person, join myself and Matthew King on the Lone Star Digital Conference Network starting at 5:45 for all the coverage. So great stuff coming out of Ellensburg. And today we are going to catch up with a player out of Sunnyside that was honored by the Seahawks. But before we get there, I want to talk about a player that Taylor Swift is putting on the map. Don't change the channel. That was just a test. I know we're tired talking about it, but I do want to give a warning. Don't become a TikTok trend on TikTok. This is going around where wives, girlfriends are going to their husbands, boyfriends, and asking, hey, have you heard about that football player that Taylor Swift is dating, like a Trevor Casey? And everybody's like, Travis Kelce. And they're like, yeah, I think it's so great that she's helping him in his career. He's really putting him on the map. And of course, guys freak out because two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, like all of that stuff, and just freaking out. And anyways, this is your warning. Do not become a TikTok trend. Of course, some of those are pretty hilarious. But I do want to talk about the business side of all of this. I know from the outside, from being a sports fan, it really takes away from a lot of things when you're seeing all the attention that the NFL has really become unapologetically a Swiftie. They are fangirling over Taylor Swift, and it's because they're cashing in on this. Even Mark Cuban, just a business whiz, from Shark Tank, and then of course Mavericks, he wants in on it in the NBA, just seeing the financial gains of all of this. I mean, Taylor Swift's cat is worth more than Travis Kelce. So Taylor Swift's cat, that's pretty amazing. But to put it in numerical perspective, you take a look at their digital footprint. Followers from the big two being Facebook and Instagram. The NFL has 47.4 million followers. And on the same two platforms, Taylor Swift has 352 million followers. That's over 7 times, nearly 7.5 times the amount of followers from the NFL. So the NFL is trying to cash in from Taylor Swift. They saw the blank space. But like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but before we move on, I did want to talk about one thing that I heard from a marketing perspective, because I love marketing. It is putting creativity and just the genius behind it. I mean, take a look, the NFL added the number 0 this year, and Pepsi Zero wants to be a sponsor. I mean, just little things like that. And I heard a take on the Jets game. I don't know if it's true or not because this is kind of interesting. But in the Jets-Chiefs game, of course, we know Taylor Swift showed up because the network couldn't take her off of the TV. But she brought a bunch of her A-list celebrities, making it look like the Super Bowl or something. I mean, we had Wolverine, we had Deadpool, we had Deadpool's wife, Blake Lively. The whole gang was there. So if you search Taylor Swift and Jets, you're going to see all these articles prior to the Chiefs Jets game. Prior to this game, if you had searched Taylor Swift and Jets, a multitude of articles would have appeared showing how Taylor Swift's private jets produce the most CO2 emissions out of any celebrity. So yes, she needs it for safety reasons. Yes, she loans it out. But nevertheless, those are what the articles are about. So the articles exist nonetheless. So that was prior to this game. But now when you search Taylor Swift and Jets, it's freaking Wolverine. I mean, who knows if it was meant to be a PR stunt, but you know what? It's worked, and I'm gonna take my tin hat off now. But I really found that interesting and wanted to share. So takeaways: men, don't fall for the trap of Taylor Swift putting Travis Kelce on the map. Otherwise, you will find yourself on TikTok. The NFL is trying to use Taylor Swift for financial gain, and Taylor Swift using the NFL right back. Don't hate the player, hate the game, and Taylor Swift is winning the game. So a lot of respect. You have to respect that. Also, I think a great Halloween costume would be a Swiftie NFL fan with a homemade shirt that misspells Kelce's last name. This actually happened, so our matrix is broken. Anyways, when we come back, we're going to hear from Eli Fernandez, honored by the Seahawks for Hispanic Heritage Month. Welcome back to the Sports Council. So the Seahawks are celebrating La Gente, a celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month is September 15th through October 15th, and it's to celebrate the history and culture of Americans whose ancestors are from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America, because we are the melting pot here, and a lot of our culture comes from much older cultures, which is such a fun thing to explore and celebrate. Two players from this side of the Cascades were honored: Markos Montes out of Davis and Yakima, and Eli Fernandez out of Sunnyside. Both players received a jersey that was customized and also attended September 24th's game when the Seahawks beat the Panthers 37-27, and it was a special day for Sunnyside's Eli Fernandez.
My name is Eli Fernandez, and here I'm a senior here at Sunnyside High School, class of 2024, and I play football here. And during the fall, and in the winter, I'm thinking of doing wrestling, and then spring maybe baseball, because it's my senior year. So I'm trying to just get into 3 sports maybe.
How long have you been involved in athletics?
So I played soccer really almost my whole life kind of, but I started getting into football big once I got into middle school. So 7th grade. Yeah, that's when football became my main sport. So my freshman and sophomore year, I played on varsity still. So I suited up on varsity, and we had one John Lobestall. He was a really good coach, so he really flipped the whole football program around. And then once in my junior year, his brother Marshall Lobestall, he took over as the head coach. And his first year we went to state actually. So that was a pretty cool experience with him. And this year we're planning on going that far, maybe even hopefully farther, and we're looking pretty good too. So yeah.
So building on it.
Yeah.
And how is it, Marshall's a WSU guy and you're a UW fan? Is there any any words there?
Okay, yeah. So the whole like coaching staff, they're all WSU guys, and so every time we'd come out for workouts and stuff, I'd always have some UW gear on, like a shirt, maybe like some socks or something, and then they'd always like just start making fun of me. And then one time, so this past year when the Apple Cup came up, there's a lot of going at it, and we bet on the game, like not like money bet, but like drinks, because we have like the whole coaching staff, we love Monster energy drinks and everything. So we just bet like some Monster energy drinks, and I won it. So because UW's a lot better. So.
That's a lot of fun. And what has been your favorite memory for Sunnyside High School for football?
So my favorite memory, probably just the bus rides itself, like with all the guys, like during summer stuff. What was it? Summer going into my junior year, we would go to like scrimmages and stuff, and we had a scrimmage in Hanford. And there's this one time where a good friend of mine, Julian Chavez, he graduated last year. So we're about to hit a speed bump, and he like jumped up off his seat and he hit like his whole body on the top of the bus. That was probably like the funniest thing I can remember, honestly. Yeah.
Just the relationships that you make.
Yeah.
And even though you're a UW guy, you did get your first opportunity to go to a Seahawks game.
Oh, yeah.
And you were being honored for Hispanic Heritage Month. So tell me a little bit about that opportunity.
So when we got to the game, I was there with my little brother Adrian Ramos, and when we got there, I called Paul Johns to ask where I should be, and then we met up. He gave me the jersey. It's right here. It's a pretty cool jersey, and he told me that we had an interview. So I went there. We did an interview with G. Scott. He has like a little Seahawks radio station there, and it was a pretty cool interview. I was there with this one guy. His name was Markos Montes, and we did the interview, talked a lot, and it was a pretty fun experience with the interview. And then right after that, we went straight to the tunnels. So me and Markos, we went onto the field, and we're just standing there waiting for like them to call us out. And we met a few guys like Walter Jones. And then we seen Jermaine Kearse walk by. I wanted to say something, but he was with his family, so I didn't really want to step in the way or anything. I just seen him walk by, and it's pretty cool.
And how was it being on the Jumbotron?
Oh, the Jumbotron, yeah. So my little brother was in the stands, and he was recording it, and he kept like texting me and sending me videos and all that. So I do have a few videos on my phone of that, and it was pretty cool. I didn't really when they told me that we're gonna be on the Jumbotron, I didn't really expect that, so it was just a little shocking.
Tell me a little bit about how you got involved with it. I mean, Hispanic Heritage Month, it's really cool just to be able to honor your heritage, and of course being able to get your own jersey, but how did it come to be?
I'm not really sure, honestly. So I was just, just regular day, and then Dave Martinez, he texted me, he's like, hey, check your email, and I checked it, and then he and Paul Johns have just been emailing each other, I guess, and I was one of the nominees. So I guess I was just randomly selected or something. But he did ask me like a question or two. He's like, do you know anything about your Hispanic heritage? So from what I know, my grandma and grandpa are both from Michoacan, Mexico, and my mom was born there too as well. And then they came down here. I'm not sure when, but they came down here, and they ended up getting fixed and all that, so they all got their documents and everything, and yeah, we're here.
And here you are.
Yeah, so I don't really know that much about my Hispanic heritage. Yeah,
and how does it play a role in your life? I mean, it's kind of a funny question when you think of it, because you're like, this is all I've ever known, and it's just like everybody kind of continues on, and you see a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life in the halls of Sunnyside High School, or even on the football field. But I guess what does it mean to you?
It means a lot. So I'm like really close to my grandma, and she's in Mexico right now. She comes back this week, and she's been in Mexico for the past 2 weeks with my grandpa. And they just been talking to me a lot about family around and everything. I never really heard of a lot of the cousins I have, and there's people around in Sunnyside that I'm related to, and I'm just like, wow, it's really big family. Makes me think about how like other families are and how closely related people really are with each other, like the Hispanic culture and all that. So, it's pretty cool and honorable to be recognized for something like this.
Yeah, and I feel like it means a lot, obviously to you, but also to your mom and grandma.
Yeah. So when I told my mom about it, she's like, oh, like she was shocked herself too. She was asking me questions about it. She was, she was just surprised, and I think she felt more, like amazed about it than I did. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
And what's been your favorite part of the whole experience?
The Seahawks game, probably how loud the fans are and everything. I know the Seahawks, like, the 12th man, they had loud stadium, but I didn't really expect it to be that loud. Like the whole, like, just sitting in there, once they started cheering when the Panthers offense was up, I just felt like my ears vibrating. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect it to be like this. So it was really cool, yeah, to be a part of that.
Better than a UW game?
The fans, they're loud, yeah, but I like the atmosphere of college games, like, the band and all, the little student section, and it just, everything that goes on around it, and it's pretty cool, but it's up there. It's different.
It's different. Yeah. And speaking of college, you are a senior. You are graduating next spring. But I understand you've been taking your studies pretty seriously, where you're not only a student here at Sunnyside High School, but you also go to YVC.
Yeah. So I started doing that my junior year. So it's a 2-year running start program. And when I heard about it, so my cousin, he graduated last year. He did it too, and he really he talked me into it when I was a sophomore. He's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be really good for your future. If you really know what you want to do, then do it." And I feel like being a dentist was just always like a thing in my mind, and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do this. I want to have a head start in my like schooling and just like my life itself." So I took the opportunity. It's the free 2 years of college to get my associates. So
you'll graduate with your AA, and then you'll go on to get your bachelor's at a 4-year institution after you graduate?
Yes, yeah.
And what are your plans? Where are you planning on going?
So planning on going is, it's this question in my mind too, because I'm in between I'm still like figuring if I want to do football or if I just want to focus on my education. And if I do end up doing football, it just depends on what school, is interested more, or, I'm interested in going to. And if I just want to pursue education, I'm probably going to stay around here in Washington, like maybe go to Eastern, WSU, Central Washington. But we did have a college and career fair this last week, and I ended up going to that. I talked to a lot of colleges there, and they all told me about their biology programs and all that dental stuff and everything, and it really caught my eye. So I'm looking into those 3 colleges for sure.
What is your favorite part about Sunnyside High School?
The assemblies, the pep assemblies. If you look right there, the bananas right there. I feel like Dave Martinez, he puts up a great atmosphere around here. He's school spirit, everything. It's always louder. It's more fun. It's just that atmosphere around Sunnyside. How everyone acts. It's just really great. So I enjoy that.
And Sunnyside has a really cool history where you were talking about how John Lobosol turned the football program around, but even on the academic side, it's been turned around since, the 80s. Do you kind of see that atmosphere? That's something that you guys talk about here, is its history.
Yeah, definitely. So before, after practices, when we talk, when we're on the huddle up, Marshall Lobosol, he tells everyone about their grades and everything, and then they always bring up they just slightly bring up how not that much people used to be graduating here. No one really had good grades, and then once everyone started, coming in, all the staff members now, I feel once they all started coming in, everything started turning around. And that's just the biggest thing that you look at if you focus on your grades, which people should be doing. So my freshman and sophomore year, I did that with I passed that with 3.8 cumulative GPA, and then once I started my running start, so right now I have a 3.7 in YVC. So I try to stay on top of my grades, stay disciplined and focused on that. So
why has it been important to you?
So my mom actually didn't graduate, and a few of all my uncles but one didn't graduate also. So, I'm trying to take advantage of that. And I do have 2 cousins right now that graduated last year that are in college, and so I'm just hoping they succeed, and I want to be following on that too.
Well, that will wrap up this week's show. Thank you to Stevens Media Group and Will Bradley, as well as to our sponsors for making this show possible. If you want to find me on social media, my handle @JamieCouncilTV on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. And where to find the show, of course, you can find it every Thursday at 11:30 on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. Afterwards, via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, just search for The Sports Council, and also available now via YouTube. So 3 different options to find the show, and love to hear what you think of the show. Let me know what you think, anything you want to add, any stories that you know that you want to share. I'm here for it. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, I'm Jamie Council. You're listening to 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle sports programming.